Are you a changed man?
Well, yes, I think you have to evolve, and because it's quite an abrupt and sudden change, isn't it? Because one minute you don't have a baby, then suddenly there's a new relative, lives in your house, not a moderate or minor relative like an uncle, a full-on, this is a person that's dependent
and you're totally
on you.
responsible for.
That's right.
Totally. Did that scare you?
There's no area of her life over which I'm not fully in control. Like, sometimes it's just me that's left in charge of her, and there's a lot of negotiation goes on because of my inability to provide breast milk. And like, please, come on, let's solve this with a conversation. You've got to learn language really, really quickly.
Little baby Mabel, did you deliberate over the name for a long time? Or that
as a matter of fact, we did. I wanted to stare at her to make absolutely sure that it was the perfect name for her. But you two think that you just call them anything, like Clive, and they'll just adjust.
And eventually she'll look like Clive. She'll be a Clive.
I think kids grow into their names.
Well,
I
don't think that can be true. I think you've got to name their essence. Like, you look at them, what's their essence? Mabel. You can't just go, right...
What made you say Mabel
Donald.
from her essence? Like,
Rita!
What was it that brought Mabel to your mind then?
Sort of, I feel that she had a twinkling, sparkling joyousness to her. We had talked about the names in advance. For example, had she been born with different sexual organs, we wouldn't have gone, still Mabel! we would have gone...
Do you remember the TV advert? Hey, Mabel, Black Label, calling Black Label beer.
No, I don't remember that.
It must have been a long
play
time
it to my child as a lullaby this very evening.
Some people are saying now that we should bring our babies up gender neutral, that we shouldn't even give them kind of names that are girl-boy names.
Now that I have these very important women in my life, I have re-evaluated the way that I unconsciously looked at gender, because now I've got a daughter, I think, oh, yeah, wow, no, don't necessarily need to dress her in clothes that are indicative of her gender. Why would you? Just see how she formulates. I've become sort of quite sensitive to that. And aware of it.
Had you thought much about fatherhood? Was it what you expected?
Yeah, I really wanted children, actually. From when I sort of still was one, I wanted one. Like, you know what I mean? I was only about 9 and I thought, I think I'm ready to be a father. So
you always knew you wanted to be a parent?
I think so. I really sort of loved it, but there was something about my lifestyle, I can't pinpoint it, that meant that it didn't come up. So, like, now that I am one, I'm really grateful for it, and I'm really enjoying it.
Now you're going to hit a hurdle almost straight away.
Why?
You're going out on tour.
I'll leap that hurdle.
For a long time.
For a long time, 73 dates.
You know, you've got to have a job, haven't you?
You have got to have a job, and your job is stand-up.
Plus, I'll be coming home. I'm not sort of going to just sort of go on a rambling tour like a pillaging Viking boy. I'm going to hop home.
But it is called... The show is called Rebirth. So do you feel kind of that there's been a rebirth, a reborn... Russell?
Yes, it's about rebirth of me as an individual, as a father, and the actual birth of that baby, and the way that switches on something in you as a man. I think when I first saw my daughter, I felt like some latent part of myself got switched on in that moment, something to do with my own femininity and fathomless love that I'd previously speculated upon but had not accessed. But also, this is a time of rebirth for all of us, when we need to reevaluate the way that we look at the world, the way that we look at each other, because so many things appear to be visibly dying.
And this man practices what he preaches here, because what I think is very interesting and exciting is that at your age and stage in life, you have gone back to third-level education. You've gone back to university.
That's right.
And I would imagine, I mean, there you are. What must it be like for everybody else in the class, in the
Russell Brand over there?
tutorial?
Well,
Russell Brand's there.
The place where I go, SOAS, they're all super smart. They're sort of mostly young people, but they're from loads of places all over the world. The course I'm doing, Religion in Global Politics, is very intense and dense. Lots of philosophy, political history. I'm learning so much stuff. Like I'm trying to use celebrity to get out of homework, but you're best off to just say the dog at it. Stick with traditional excuses. The only time I get into trouble is when I feel like I'm at school and I just go back into my school mentality of, I'm doing that, you can't make me do that. And I remember I'm doing this out of choice.
You've been sent out yet for talking too much?
No, I'm really trying to make a new start in there. I'm trying not to do all the things I did when I was at actual school, showing off, tantrums, bunking off, smoking, not bothering to go ever, lying.
Rebirth. Is there comedy material from the tuitions?
Well, yeah, because I'm learning about the construction of geopolitical narratives and the relationship between religion and politics, and what could be more important at this time where these are such divisive subjects and they're such informative subjects. That's fascinating. And then just being there with all these wonderful, intelligent young people, and then nothing will give you more confidence in the world than being around young people and their hope and their optimism and their intelligence and their will to see the world be different.
How lovely. Well, that sounds
pretty good, isn't it?
And now another big change in your life is that you moved out of London.
Yeah.
Where you've lived all your life, to the countryside.
I did move into rural life. I've got some hens, I've got a dog, I've got 2 cats, I've grown that potato I've told you about.
Just the one potato?
That'll do for now. And
was that a hard move, or was that a conscious decision when Mabel was born to not want to live in the city? Or?
I think that probably sometimes if you look at the way, if you're not happy with the way your life is going, you can look at all of the various ingredients and contributory factors. And I think living in a city sometimes is probably good if you like being anxious, agitated, and charged a lot for your rent. But like, you know,
you can't park anywhere.
Yeah, no, forget that. So like, no, it was very conscious because I wanted to live a different kind of life and I wanted to reevaluate what I'd been doing. It seems like a really, really good decision. I love it.
So is there a bit of the farmer in you, do you think, as well? Could you see that, you know?
I've certainly got a lot of respect for the rural community, but I don't think I could do their hours. I don't know if I could do lambing season.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd like want to, you know, sometimes when I'm near a cow, I don't think I'd like to wash it or milk it or squeeze its cow boob.
Well, he certainly has been reborn. That rebirth is going around the whole of the UK and Ireland, and tickets are on sale from today.
From
If you
today.
want the tickets, you can have them.
73-date tour. So
Yeah.
lots of tickets.
Good man,
to see
Russell.
you.
Lovely talking to
Congratulations
you.
on your programme. Thank you for allowing me to be into your marriage, your TV marriage and your actual marriage.